Hello there. Are you a Zombies fan? Have you broken a controller out of rage because of a Zombies game? Well then take a seat, because welcome to COD Globe, and today we're going to be looking at the top 10 zombie bosses that made you rage. Starting off at number 10, we have the Witches from Black Ops 2 Buried. The reason that the Witches are at such a low placement on this list is mainly because the Witches aren't exactly a full boss. The Witches are a level boss that only get activated when you go through the Buried Mansion. However, the reason they're on this list is mainly because they are quite possibly the most infuriating and annoying part of Buried. I cannot tell you how many times me and my friends have lost thousands and thousands of points going through that manor. Even though the Witches are easy to deal with and even drop a perk upon the end of the round, the manor is very small and hard to maneuver through, which makes it a perfect area for the Witches to get a hold of you and take all of your precious points that you have worked so hard for. Now on to number 9, we have the Panzer from Origins and in other maps later down in Black Ops 3. With Origins already being an incredibly difficult map, the Panzer was the icing on the cake. I cannot tell you how many times I've died on Origins solely because of the Panzer. With his grappling abilities, a flamethrower, and extremely thick armor, the Panzer becomes an insane mini-boss that is a pain in the butt to fight every single time you hear his spawn. And again, the only reason he is not higher up on the list is mainly because he is not technically a full boss. He is a level boss, and he shows up multiple times and you can never really get rid of him. However, I felt that the Panzer more than deserves a spot on this list because honestly, out of everything else on the rest of this list, he has annoyed me the most. Now on to number 8. Welcome to the launch map of Black Ops 3, the Shadows of Evil, where we fight the Shadow Man. Just the map of Shadows of Evil alone was an incredibly aggravating and intense map to navigate through. With the small areas you have to fight the bosses in, along with the amount of zombies that spawn in later rounds, Shadows of Evil becomes an extremely difficult boss fight. Along with new mini-bosses and a new storyline, Shadows of Evil becomes a very aggravating and intense map, which is why it deserves the number 8 spot. On the number 7, we have the Final Reich from Call of Duty World War II. With the Final Reich came an amazing Easter egg that brought chills, terror, and an insane boss fight. With the mixture of a Nazi blimp, a giant monstrous zombie, and a large horde of zombies that is increasing by each round, you were given a very difficult challenge. Along with being what I could consider one of the most terrifying versions of Nazi zombies, the Final Reich is an amazing map with a very hard boss battle. And I personally feel that only the people that know how to play zombies are able of completing it. Which is why the Final Reich more than deserves the number 7 spot on our list. At number 6, we have 9, a Black Ops 4 Zombies map, where the 4 main characters are fighting in a gladiator arena. You are greeted with an insane amount of mini-bosses and Easter eggs that, to me, almost seem impossible to do, unless you are very talented at zombies. While being confined into an arena fighting a giant zombie elephant, you heard me right, a giant zombie elephant, along with a large horde of zombies, 9 can be a very difficult and challenging map. And if I'm being honest, I myself have never completed the 9 Easter egg, which is why I can say personally that I know how much I have raged to this map. It is difficult, it is challenging, but in the end, it's a hell of a blast. Which is why it more than deserves the number 6 spot. On number 5 on our list, we have Garad Crovey. Personally, one of my least favorite maps. Personally, I enjoy maps that have a large area where I can run around and be able to evade my enemies with ease, where in maps like this, you don't have that luxury. While having to navigate this map to complete the Easter egg, you are greeted with not 1, but 2 boss battles that the map alone has made me rage and the boss fight has made me rage. At number 4, we have Voyage of Despair. Voyage of Despair is a very challenging and underrated map. Like Garad Crovey, Voyage of Despair is a very narrow and hard to maneuver map, which is why personally I'm not a fan. However, again with another very difficult Easter egg that takes a lot of puzzles and activities you have to complete on this very narrow and challenging map, I have raged to this map without being in the boss fight. I have raged this map during the boss fight. It is a very difficult map full of very very difficult challenges. And if you have not raged to this map, you are lying. Next up, we have the Attack of the Radioactive Thing from Infinite Warfare. Now, Attack of the Radioactive Thing itself isn't a very difficult Easter egg. However, there are a few parts of the actual boss fight itself that seem very challenging. From having to walk alongside a nuclear bomb to enter into this radioactive creature, to navigating through an intense wall of lasers with your teammates. And by the way, if all of your teammates are not at the final point at the exact same time, you have to restart the whole process, which is why this map is annoying. Unless you're a solo player, you have to heavily rely on teamwork to complete this Easter egg. That leads us to Der Eisendrache, which holds the number 2 spot. This map was a Black Ops 3 map, and the reason I preferably do not like it is the same reason why I do not like Garad Krovi. It's a very small map, it's a very closed-in map in certain areas. Along with that, the boss fight is intense. In order to finish this boss fight, you need to complete puzzles and activities. And along with that, fight an intense and very difficult boss fight, which brings in our old buddy the Panzer to come and fight you, along with other mini-bosses. There are many people that complain about how difficult this map is, which is why I believe it absolutely deserves the number 2 spot on our top 10 list. And this finally brings us to our number 1 spot, which is only known as the Super Easter Egg of Infinite Warfare. If you do not know what the Super Easter Egg is, it is known as one of the hardest, most difficult boss fights in all of Call of Duty Zombies history. That is because in order to unlock the map, in order to unlock this boss fight, you need to have completed every single Easter egg for every single map on the game. You have to literally fight Satan. This boss fight is known as one of the hardest fights in all of zombie history, where the slightest mistake can send you and your team straight to game over. It's a very difficult map, and I guarantee you that anybody that has ever tried to complete this map has raged to it at least once. Which is why it has earned the number 1 spot in our list for the top 10 zombie bosses that made you rage. Did you agree with our list or did you not agree with it? Either way, we'd like you to go down to the comments and let us know what you thought. We at COD Globe hope you enjoyed this video, and we cannot wait to see you in the next one.